Hello, my name is Jeremy, and this is the True Crime Chronicles channel. When Ronald Vinci, a millionaire, first laid eyes on Katherine Pileggi, a flight attendant, he was struck by an immediate sense of falling in love. Little did he know at that moment how their serendipitous meeting in the skies would ultimately conclude. Ronald Vinci, born on August 16, 1940, in Fort Lauderdale, Florida, displayed an entrepreneurial spirit from an early age. In his 20s, he embarked on his first business venture, renting a space on the Pacific Coast in San Diego, where he began selling Honda motorcycles. Over time, his small shop evolved into one of the largest Honda dealership centers in California. Ron's success didn't stop there. He went on to open several more car dealerships, steadily increasing his earnings. Those who worked for Vinci often described him as a resolute and strong-willed individual, as well as a demanding employer. Ronald Vinci's personal life included a previous marriage to a woman named Pamela, and together they had a son named Carey. However, their marriage eventually ended in divorce after several years. Following his divorce, Ron began to indulge in a lavish lifestyle, spending his wealth on extravagant toys. He developed a passion for collecting airplanes and helicopters, even going so far as to acquire a large hangar for housing his collection. Ronald resided in a spacious house located in Rancho Santa Fe, California. He went to great lengths to obtain permission from the county commission to construct a helicopter pad on his property, despite objections from his neighbors. This allowed him to conveniently commute to work by helicopter directly from his home. Additionally, helicopter pads were installed on the roofs of his car dealerships, further facilitating his aerial transportation. In 1990, the paths of 50-year-old Ronald Vinci and 34-year-old Katherine Pileggi crossed in an unexpected place: the sky. Katherine worked as a flight attendant on an airplane when the two first met. Katherine Pileggi hailed from a tight-knit family and grew up in a rural area in Georgia. During her youth, she took part in beauty pageants and won hearts with her charisma and radiant smile. Her beauty and pleasant demeanor attracted many admirers and suitors. After completing her education, Katherine spent several years working as a lab technician in a veterans hospital. However, her aspirations reached beyond her job, and she always yearned for more in life. In 1980, Katherine made a significant career change by leaving the hospital and joining Delta Airlines as a flight attendant. Her annual income at that time amounted to $20,000. She took pleasure in her new job, tending to passengers' needs and serving meals. Katherine even possessed some practical knowledge, such as using coffee grounds to eliminate unpleasant odors, a handy tip for dealing with spills on airplane seats. In 1990, a decade after starting her career as a flight attendant, Katherine had a fateful encounter on a flight. She met Ronald Vinci, a millionaire who was immediately drawn to her charming and ever-smiling personality. Despite the significant 14-year age gap between them, the couple embarked on a romantic relationship. Katherine left her career as a flight attendant and moved into Ronald's luxurious home in California. Together, they shared a passion for travel, with Aspen, Colorado, being a favorite destination for their getaways. Ron and Katherine's relationship spanned a decade, during which the millionaire never proposed to the flight attendant. Eventually, they decided to go their separate ways. Katherine relocated to Florida in search of a new partner and a fresh start. In April 2001, at the age of 45, Katherine began a relationship with 63-year-old Duilio Carilano, who worked as an insurance agent and was financially well off. The couple was introduced through mutual friends. Katherine confided in Duilio about her previous relationship with the millionaire, describing a tumultuous and unhappy time where her ex-partner insulted her, had issues with heavy drinking, and openly discussed his affairs with other women. She revealed that she had endured this situation for a decade, hoping for a marriage proposal from Ronald Vinci, which never came. Duilio, on the other hand, wasted no time and promptly proposed to Katherine. The couple tied the knot in May 2001, just a month after they first met. Katherine was content with the marriage, and after their wedding, they began living together in Miami Beach, Florida. Duilio described Katherine's early demeanor in their life together as resembling a domestic cat: gentle, calm, quiet, and with minimal eating habits. Additionally, Katherine had a profound fear of water. She couldn't bathe in the ocean, sea, or river, experiencing intense anxiety upon entering the water. A few months into their marriage, Duilio began to notice a significant change in his wife, Katherine's behavior. She increasingly requested money from him, demanding funds for clothes, gifts, and comparing him to her friends' more generous husbands. Duilio estimated that Katherine was withdrawing approximately $5,000 per month from him. She used the excuse of educational expenses, but failed to provide any receipts or evidence of such expenditures. After a few months of enduring this financial strain, Duilio decided that he had rushed into the marriage and wanted a divorce. Given their lack of children or shared property, the separation was relatively straightforward. Court documents revealed that Duilio Carolano had a net worth of $4.5 million, whereas Katherine had only $8,000 in her accounts. As Katherine was preparing to move out of Duilio's house, she expressed a sense of sadness and despair, saying, "What's the point of living? I don't succeed in anything. There's just no meaning in my life." In 2005, Ronald Vinci, the millionaire, made a significant life move by relocating to Fort Lauderdale, Florida. He was convinced by friends that Florida offered favorable climate conditions and low taxes. At this point, Ron had already sold his car dealerships and had accumulated substantial wealth. In Fort Lauderdale, he acquired a luxurious apartment on the 41st floor, enjoying the comforts of his new residence. In the same year, Ronald rekindled his relationship with Katherine Pileggi, the flight attendant he had dated previously. Katherine moved into Ron's apartment, and the couple resumed their connection. Interestingly, Katherine's former husband, Duilio Carolano, also resided in the same building, but on a floor 30 levels below. Duilio couldn't fathom why Katherine had reconnected with the millionaire she had once described as a monster. As their relationship continued, Katherine's dreams of marrying the millionaire consumed her thoughts. Both Ronald and Katherine were no longer employed and lived a life of leisure. Their stark differences became even more apparent with time. Ronald was overweight and took pleasure in indulging in rich foods, while Katherine, on the other hand, ate sparingly and maintained a weight of only 42 kilograms. Ronald was known for his love of lively parties, while Katherine preferred spending most of her time at home, engrossed in crime stories. She seldom wore dresses, favoring shorts and sneakers for her daily attire. Katherine and Ron often journeyed together, crossing the sea by boat and visiting the Caribbean islands by air. Katherine's diary entries expressed her ocean phobia and detailed Ron's continuous encouragement for her to conquer her aquaphobia. Her decision to join him on these expeditions, despite her fears, suggests Ron's persuasive impact and possible insistence on her facing her anxieties. Despite Ronald's substantial wealth, he had a penchant for visiting budget-friendly bars along the Fort Lauderdale waterfront. With his friends, he would order $1 tacos and strong drinks. Ronald may have been the life of the party, flirting with women, but he would often humorously remark that his male prowess had long waned. Their home frequently hosted gatherings where Ronald would indulge in alcohol and become increasingly outspoken. On occasion, he would publicly insult Katherine in front of their friends, suggesting that she owed everything to him. Katherine, ever composed, played a passive role at these parties, quietly fulfilling all of Ronald's intoxicated demands, from serving drinks and snacks to tending to his friends. This pattern continued for 5 years, but the millionaire remained hesitant to propose marriage to Katherine. In fact, by 2010, Ronald started confiding in his friends about his desire to end the relationship and seek a younger companion. In early 2011, Ronald Vinci found himself hospitalized due to severe intestinal issues, likely stemming from years of alcohol abuse. Although his doctors attributed the illness to his alcohol consumption, Vinci himself remarked that he had noticed a shift in the taste of his food recently. A friend jokingly suggested, "Maybe Katherine tried to poison you?" Ronald dismissed the jest without giving it much thought. In reality, Ronald had neglected his health. His excessive alcohol intake and the habit of consuming a multitude of pills in hopes of achieving relaxation and better sleep were taking a toll on his well-being. In June 2011, Ronald Vinci made a significant purchase, acquiring a new waterfront home in Fort Lauderdale. This property held a value of $3 million and was conveniently situated just steps away from where his yacht was docked. At the age of 70, Ronald was looking forward to spending the rest of his life in this comfortable residence. He looked forward to visits from his only son, Kerry, and his grandson. Kerry's occupation as a waiter was a subject of jest for Ron, who humorously claimed that Carey was eagerly anticipating his father's passing. On the afternoon of June 28, 2011, the gardener of Ronald Vinci made a distressing call to 911, reporting an incident involving his employer. When the police arrived at the scene, they discovered the lifeless body of the millionaire in a guest bedroom. Shockingly, his body had been meticulously wrapped in plastic bags, tightly taped, and placed inside a sleeping bag. This bag also contained soiled sheets, and on top of it was a substance resembling wet dirt, later identified as coffee grounds. Further examination revealed a slashed mattress beneath the blanket on the bed. The gardener informed the police that, according to Katherine Pileggi, Ronald had fallen down the stairs, suffered a head injury, and subsequently passed away. However, the officers harbored deep suspicions that his death was far from accidental. During the police interrogation, the gardener provided a chilling account of the events leading up to the discovery of Ronald Vinci's lifeless body. According to his testimony, Katherine Pileggi had called him late at night, urgently requesting his presence at Vinci's residence. Upon his arrival in the morning, he was confronted with the gruesome sight of the millionaire's lifeless body, wrapped tightly in a sleeping bag in one of the guest bedrooms. Katherine, in a state of distress, tearfully implored the gardener to assist her in burying Ron. She revealed that Vinci had expressed a lifelong wish to be laid to rest in the ocean after his demise. To carry out this macabre plan, she had purchased a blue container intended to hold Vinci's body, with the intention of taking it out to sea using the millionaire's yacht. Katherine had already brought the container home and placed it in the garage by the time the gardener had alerted the authorities. Upon conducting a thorough examination, the medical examiner made gruesome findings. Ronald Vinci, aged 70, had sustained 9 stab wounds to his chest and neck, bore marks consistent with hammer blows on his head, and had ultimately met his demise from a gunshot wound to the head. On the evening of June 27th, Ronald Vinci's friends visited his house. Katherine prepared the meal, and Ron provided drinks. During the gathering, Ron mentioned that his passport and one of his pistols were missing. During dinner, Ron complained that the food tasted unusually bitter. Surprisingly, Ron, who was known for staying up late, said he wasn't feeling well and went to bed as early as 7:30 p.m. His friends found this early bedtime unusual and eventually left his house. Katherine Pileggi, aged 54, was brought in for questioning a few hours later, where she provided a detailed confession. She recounted that around 1 a.m. on June 28th, a drunk Ronald Vinci woke up and began verbally insulting her. The situation escalated, and at some point, he chased her down the stairs, stumbled, and fell, hitting his head severely. Katherine claimed that she helped him up and guided him to a guest bedroom on the first floor. Afterward, she went to clean the bloodstains on the stairs. A few hours later, she entered the guest bedroom to check on Ron, finding him asleep with a loaded gun on the nightstand. Fearing that Vinci intended to kill her, Katherine acted out of fear and desperation, grabbing the gun and fatally shooting him in the head. During the interrogation, Katherine admitted, "I was very scared. I was angrier than I had ever been before. I felt like my soul had left my body." Following the shooting, she proceeded to inflict numerous additional wounds on Ron using a knife and a hammer. Katherine then wrapped his body in a bag and attempted to conceal the evidence. She called the gardener, realizing she couldn't dispose of the body alone. Surveillance camera photos showed Katherine purchasing a large blue container at a hardware store after the murder, which she intended to use to dispose of Ronald's body in the ocean. Furthermore, a gun matching the one used to shoot the millionaire was discovered in Katherine's car, with her fingerprints on it. Her Bentley also contained a knife, cut up pieces of the mattress, clothing, and rubber gloves, all stained with Ronald's blood. Katherine Pileggi faced a charge of first-degree murder and was subsequently arrested and detained. It came to light that just a month before the murder, in May, Katherine had been involved in a legal matter. Her sister had filed a complaint, accusing Katherine of borrowing money and then refusing to repay it. Katherine defended herself by claiming that the money was a gift and thus refused to return it to her sister. On May 17th, the court ruled in favor of Katherine in this dispute. Ronald's neighbors reported hearing screams from the Vinci house on the night of the crime. Additionally, a witness spotted a white car with a large trailer near Vinci's home in the early morning, which belonged to the gardener. Vinci's friends revealed that he had been wanting to end his relationship with Katherine for some time. The couple had not been intimate for months and even slept in separate rooms within their large house. Just weeks before the tragedy, Ronald had attempted to give Katherine $1 million through one of his workers, asking her to leave his house permanently. Prosecutors believed that Katherine's primary motive was the fear of losing her wealthy partner. However, Katherine's defense argued that she had been a victim of severe abuse during her relationship with Ronald and had acted in self-defense. Nevertheless, questions arose regarding why she didn't immediately contact the police, why she didn't tell the truth immediately, and why she endured the alleged abuse for years without leaving him. While some of Katherine's relatives defended her in court, and a court psychiatrist identified some signs of domestic violence, none of Ronald's close associates could confirm witnessing any mistreatment in their relationship. They described Katherine as calm and noted that she never complained about her life. During the court proceedings, Katherine made a startling accusation against Ronald Vinci, claiming that he was responsible for the sudden death of her younger sister, Angela, 3 years prior, in December 2009. Katherine, Ronald, and Angela had embarked on a cruise in the Caribbean Sea. Angela had been struggling with substance abuse issues, and during a party on the cruise, she had consumed excessive alcohol, leading to severe illness and intense convulsions. In her efforts to help her sister, Katherine performed artificial respiration, but tragically, Angela's heart stopped, resulting in her death. It later came to light that Ronald had provided Angela with some pills on the evening of the cruise, presumably to help her relax. Katherine firmly believed that these pills were a contributing factor in her younger sister's death. In 2014, a jury delivered a verdict, finding Katherine Pileggi guilty of the murder of Ronald Vinci. As a result, she was sentenced to 25 years in prison. Currently, Katherine is serving her sentence at the Lowell Correctional Institution in Marion County, Florida. Her potential release date is set for January 2034, by which time she will be 77 years old. The story of successful and wealthy Ronald Vinci took a tragic turn due to his ill-fated relationship with the quiet and unassuming flight attendant. Despite his many wise decisions in life, this particular relationship ultimately proved to be a fatal error in the life of the millionaire. If you found this story interesting, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, don't forget to share your opinion in the comments. This was Jeremy. See you in the next video.